Okay, welcome to Oathsworn into the Deepwood, how the components work. So you start with chapter 1, it's in envelope A, and this map is also shown in the introduction. It's also shown on many playthroughs on the internet. This will be a little bit spoilery, but yeah, so you have envelope A, you have also envelope B. Envelope B is another map, and this is a thick cardboard, feels a bit plasticky, so good quality. It's a giant map of Verum. Aside from the little things and choices that you make, you will go from A to the battle with the Brood Mother, and then to Verum, the new city. There you will find information to find a cure for the Deepwood, because in after chapter A, the Deepwood has gained consciousness or something, so it starts to behave more intelligently. Verum is basically threatening to become a zombie city, and from Verum you go to section C, so that's stereo, or Gistercia, I'm not really sure. Lots of locations, every location, yeah, you have this time tracker, which I haven't spoken of before, but the storybook can instruct you to move your time tracker across this grid, and in the end of the grid, it's the end of the story part, and then you have to stop and start the combat. But yeah, I'm not going to do the combat, of course. So chapter 1 gives you here the instruction City Event. City Event is one of these decks, so you draw a city event. Let's see if I have it here. Event separator. Okay, so there are two kinds of events, apparently. I haven't seen this also either. So there's city, because right, city, okay. And there is Deepwood. So if you have city event, then you draw from this deck, and it is double-sided. I think this is then the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so I think you have to draw the first city event, and depending on how many choices you make, you'll end up with something deeper into the deck. So all the stuff happens. That's amazing. Let me check, because yeah, archive this event. To archive means to put it away, to remove it from play. So this is a band of street urchins, could have happened everywhere. Some elixir, a Cistercian priest. So the game kind of, oh no, this is a Cistercian preacher, so it's not in Cistercia necessarily. So yeah, if you jump over it, then you will go less deep into this part. So that's nice. Then there is the Deepwood events, and that is while you are traveling in the Deepwood, and we'll come to that very soon. But let's see. Yeah, so here, fresh trail of blood leads off into the Deepwood. They're all numbered uniquely, and there are a lot of them. For example, here you see Many Winters. Many Winters is one of the allies. I'll show that later. Then do stuff. So the if Clydia is not part of your company anymore, stuff happens. If Tia is not part of your company anymore, stuff happens. If Emram is not part of your company anymore, stuff happens. If Bioform Dog is not part of your company anymore, if Willem is not part of the company anymore, if the Golem is not part of your anymore, etc. So this proves that, BGG is full of bullshit. This is highly dependent on how far you get into this Deepwood and how far you get into the city. That's like a new dimension besides of the narrative branching. I'm sure you got by now that this is a masterpiece, and you can play the narrative part just with this box 1 if you properly seed it, of course. So city events, game token, city events, extra unique item. You don't need extra unique item, but it would be nice if you can draw it. Now, if on path A go to 40.1 in the storybook, so 40.1 in chapter 2. So that's the other book. Gain token, extra unique item. So lots of little variations that make the game come alive. Just for completion, you have A, B, C, D, and D is some kind of dream world stuff. Doesn't really have a name. But if you read the story, then it's some kind of hallucination thing, just like video games like Oblivion also have. Story envelope E, that is another city, Glimmer Hollow, and so that is more or less chapter 5. This is chapter 6. There's also a map. Not really interesting to show. G, also a map. H, and that's it. And then what about the other maps? Well, the other maps are there are some riddles. That's a very varied game with. If you played Island Something Shiny, the new edition, I hope, then you would also have seen puzzles like these. So let's do just one because it doesn't really matter. So you place, there is this little duck box inside of the game called section Z, and in Z there are these square tiles, and you start in the center, and then every adjacent tile you place like so, and you move your company thing across a growing grid like Carcassonne. And if you go south, then you go to 40.1, and that's here. So you place again these tiles, but your avatar has moved. So it grows and grows and grows. And so you go, for example, north. Let's do west. 42.1. 42.1 is here. Then you are instructed to draw a Deepwood event because you got to 42.1. If it is event number 5 to 11, 15 or 16, shuffle it back into the deck and draw another. Otherwise resolve it. And that's the Deepwood deck that I just showed you. So it matters what choices you make. There is definitely a branching off. In the end, on chapter 14, you have to find the exit more or less, and each is kind of like random. Oh yeah, and here of course in the epilogue, so I'm not going to show the epilogue, but what it comes down to, if you have the priestess keywords, then go to epilogue 2. If you do not have it, go to the epilogue 3. So there are different endings depending on the keywords that you make and depending on the allies that you have. And here is another puzzle thing where you have to go through in chapter 17. Same kind of stuff. So you are using, it's very creative. Not everything is printed out map. This is something that you have to discover by making choices, and more or less blindly, of course. But there are several of these chapters that do not use a map, but have you play a little game of Carcassonne, and sometimes sometimes it checks what you have. So if you have the witch Oathsworn with you, turn to 39.5. So the witch knows something that triggers here, and if you do not have